To everybody that checked out the sponsor of the stream today, the Star Trek Command Fleet mobile game. If you check that out using my link and play through the tutorial, it takes a little bit less than 5 minutes of your time. I get a little bit of a bonus if I hit that second stretch goal. So I already hit our first goal of 90. Y'all rock. If we have 29 more people that do that, I would appreciate it. At any rate, we're going to dive on into some elves up next here. This list is card for card a deck list that was on the historic deck dump on magic.gg. And, you know, it's funny, I've joked many a times that most good decks in Historic are either Collected Company decks or Thoughtseize decks, and this deck is both. It's possible that we want a 12th black source here in the mana base. That being said, we don't want too many tapped lands. We need forest for Castle Garenbrig here. And you might look at this deck and think, why are we playing Castle with such a low curve? Castle is explicitly available for creature abilities as well as casting creatures. So both Elvish Clancaller, Allosaurus Shepherd, and Elvish Warmaster have abilities that we want to ramp up into. So Castle Garenbrig is good with 12 of our creatures here, which is sweet. So let's go ahead and dive on into some games with this and see if this tribal deck can feel reasonable here or not. To the person who asked about chat on the screen, I've removed chat from my overlay today to fit in the Star Trek widget. I didn't want to clutter the screen with too many things in addition to the Magic, so rather than shrink the Magic game board to fit things in, I've just pulled chat off for just today for the Star Trek thing. For people asking me questions about my opinions on card choice in this deck, I was hoping that me explaining that I copied this card for card off the internet would prevent those questions. But to answer your question, since people are asking them anyways, I have no idea. I don't have strong opinions about card selections in the Elf archetype. If you do, great. Feel free to use the card rec command and describe to me why your suggestions are good, but I don't have any reasons why they're bad. I haven't played this archetype. I've only played against it a couple of times. I have no strong opinions. I am looking to play some games with with a version of the deck that posted a result, and hopefully we will develop some opinions about some of the card choices in here as we go. I'm casting this right now because I don't want my opponent to be able to counterspell my Collected Company. So I'm playing that intentionally at sorcery speed because I think them having a counterspell is more likely than them having a second sweeper. Obviously, we're going to get hit by a second sweeper now, and someone in a YouTube comment later is going to be like, Jeff, you made the wrong play with hindsight information. But the fact that they've already swept once means I should play out my things proactively.
You want to go, tough guy? Don't you hate that burnt hair smell?
Hey, look at that, chat. So smart and thin. Smartest, thinnest Magic the Gathering player there ever was. And then Castle Garenbrig looking good here with the Allosaurus Shepherd. He's going to turn all of our dorks into 5/5s next turn. I'm inclined to agree with you, Jin. The Chandra voice lines are phenomenal. All right, so we've got 31 creatures, so I think I can cut exactly 3 creatures in this matchup. So how are we sideboarding? This is definitely the Lead the Stampede and the Shaper Sanctuary matchup. I feel like I'm inclined to say this is not a Duress matchup, just for the sake of not wanting to go too low on company hits. I feel like that's the case. Yeah, the Mardu deck was great. I wonder if, because they're playing damage-based sweepers, if I'd rather cut like Clancaller, because it gets swept away. It could be right to play like, yeah. Honestly, it could be right to board in the Scavenging Ooze here in the removal heavy matchup too. We've got like 3 Skews and Nurture, because like they're gonna be killing a lot of our creatures, right? So like having this to like get huge after they kill our creatures sounds great. If I'm not bringing in Lead the Stampede in this matchup, it shouldn't be in my deck. I think you could argue that if I'm expecting lots of sweepers, Duress is better than the Shaper Sanctuary. Maybe I get greedy and go down to 27 company hits. All right, let's greed. Let's greed on 27 company hits. Maybe that's the, maybe we do that. Just accept that. Coco's gonna miss sometimes. Yeah. Yeah. This hand, I believe we could say slaps is the descriptor I would use. Red Mage Frank, thank you for the absurdly generous tier 3 resub and for over 3 years at that. Good afternoon. Oh, look at that, chat. Their hand has 2 spells in it. Now it has less than 2 spells. Good chat, good chat. I can't imagine they have that many counterspells in post-board. I'm just gonna pass here. Yamps and Show Motion, thanks for the follows. I like the idea of Realmwalker over Lead the Stampede. With the note. That's a 2/3 as well, right? So it survives Cry the Canarium. Yeah, like we can make that change after the match. That would let us have 29 creatures post board. All right, just like that, we have a game with the sweeper off the top.
There are so I have just the trick for this.
No third rats. I was gonna say no third black source yet is really good for us. If you hit level 3, you've definitely finished the tutorial. It's like when Scotty stops talking.
This is overwhelming.
All right, did you draw a sweeper?
Death's master.
Do I have anything that actually draws cards in my deck? I don't, right? Someone help me? Scotty does know. I don't think we have anything, right? So gotta kill that one.
Things to attend to.
No, Beast Whisperer is slow and funky. You don't want to spend 4 mana for a card that then has to live to generate card advantage. And it doesn't get hit by Collected Company either. Probably dead to a cry here. Oh, it's not a cry. So if we draw God. Sorry. All right, Reclamation Sage sounds good. Reclamation Sage sounds good. I'm gonna cut my discard spells because they're useless against this opponent anyways. Oh, stream title update. Yeah, thanks. Bottoming this one. I think we just play out a Naked Sage here.
I have cracked home your prowess.
I mean, it came with another 1/1 as well.
Your folly.
I don't know that we beat a sweeper. Our deck definitely feels like a Go Fish deck so far. A lot of just like, don't really have many meaningful decisions. We mulligan and then we cross our fingers and hope our opponent doesn't have it. Aren't terribly many interesting or meaningful in-game decisions.
When people start screaming,
Yeah, this game's over.
time to die.
It's funny, it always makes me chuckle. When I concede games like this, people always, I always have someone that comments on the YouTube video complaining that I concede too early. And Magic, one of the skills new Magic players lack the most in my experience is understanding when they've entered garbage time against mid-range and control decks. It's something that new players really struggle with. The idea that like the game is over, but it hasn't actually happened yet. The game, they're still getting to draw cards and take turns, but the game has ended. Yeah, Shaman of the Pack would be a big pickup for this archetype. I think I like the idea of Realmwalker. I'm gonna board 3 Realmwalkers over the other card advantage things that we had. I guess one thing that's notable about Realmwalker is that Realmwalker gets turned off by Grafdigger's Cage, just like Collecting Company does, which sucks a little bit. It's nice. It's nice that it gets hit by Company though. The vehicles deck was really good, Blue. That deck felt super reasonable. Winds of Plague. Okay, they've mulliganed like 4 times. They're either really unlucky or they're playing the Tybalt deck. I think Mass Vandal is much worse than Reclamation Sage. Thanks to whoever checked out Fleet Command there. Almost up to that 120 goal. 70, yeah, they're at 78%. Feels like a strong chance at Tybalt. Looks like a meme rank. smells like memes. Gonna make a token here rather than attack for 6, I think. Okay, I mean, depending on what they hit, we could be okay. Survey says. Okay, that could go either way. What else we got over here, opponent? Nah, we played Martyr Vehicles for almost 90 minutes. That's fine. Am I dead yet?
I won't stand by as innocent people are slaughtered.
Are we dead? What if I had a Collecting Company?
That was an easy job.
You know, people often crack bad, silly jokes about decks like what the opponent's playing and Magic as Richard Garfield intended it. Magic as Richard Garfield intended it to be played involved the cards Channel and Fireball being printed together. So, like, this idea that, like, Richard Garfield wanted this really low variance, high skill game is, like, just not based in fact or reality. Yeah, and cards like Black Lotus and Moxen, like, just the very, very definition of super high variance. Yeah, anti-cards, like, as Richard Garfield intended this game to be played, Magic was, like, if anything, the variance reduction that we've seen in recent Magic design is not Magic as Garfield intended. For people that keep asking me about cards, I don't know what, like, you need to tell me what the card does. If I'm not answering your question about a card you suggested, it's because I don't know the text of the card. I have to put 4 cards in the bottom. We mulligan to 3? Sure. Lost track, chat. Oh no! They topped a card! Oh no! Oh no! Yikes! There was a lot of heated debate about this card, and I saw a lot of really ignorant people talk about how this was a design mistake and it should have been opponent's spells, but like, you need to understand the fact that this card mills the player it's targeting means that they intended for this to be a combo card. Wizards knew what this card was going to do when they printed it. Wait, did they top a card that wasn't a land and wasn't a trickery? I'm so confused. Oh, they topped Stonecoil Serpent. That's kind of funny. Yeah, it's supposed to be a polymorph for the stack is exactly correct. And those types of effects have always been used on your own cards. They knew exactly what this card was doing. Wizards wants these kind of high variance, big swing cards in Magic. You at home might not want them, but that type of gameplay is something that they try to make playable. Those types of games are exciting for lots of players, and it's part of why people play Magic, is to get that kind of experience. Yeah, it's funny, right? Like, it always cracks me up that like Magic players will like complain that like this card creates non-games, but like Magic itself has a ton of non-games. The very core design of Magic involves tons of non-games. That's just how Magic works as a core game engine. Those are features. They are not bugs. Silac, thanks for the follow. Good afternoon. Hey chat, remember that time we mulliganed to 3 and then 1? And that's why this deck isn't really a big deal when you think about it, right? Like I know that like it feels bad to lose to that, but like, you know, that happens, right? I mulliganed to a discard spell, I played my discard spell, they died. It's funny so far, we're going into game 3 of this match, and so far a 4-card keep and a 3-card keep have been the 2 game winners. Yeah, this hand's great. Black mana discard spell. That's a great descriptor. Some people want to play 10 games, only win 2 or 3 of them, but the ones that they win in a spectacular fashion. That's exactly correct. Do they have trickery and they didn't hold control there? Fine, they have another Stonecoil Serpent, right? Looks like they drew second trickery and we're dead. Them's the beats. Sometimes you have 2 of them. Yep. You can opponent. You know, like I said, games like this really aren't that different than a game where you never draw your 3rd land and die. It's just a non-game that was outside of your control that just like comes with the territory. yeah, this current historic format has all the hallmarks of modern when modern was really good. I mean, it's why you choose to play the deck in any format, Leroy, because you just want to get people, because you don't actually care about winning. You just want to annoy people, other people, because they're so, like, if you've ever, okay, so for starters, I'd like to prefix the statement with, you should never go on Reddit, you should delete your account, your life will be better for it. But the types of threads that get created on that platform and other social media platforms about things like the Tybalt's Trickery deck, where people are just pillars of sodium because the deck exists. There are people who play Magic purely to farm that salt. They log into Magic Arena to like log into the salt mines. They just want to go in there and make people pissed off. That's why they play the game. I mean, r/spikes isn't really different than any other Magic subreddit. They're a very, very casual deck building subreddit. Maybe I'm supposed to play Nurturer first here. I can stack counters up from these. I mean, that subreddit once upon a time used to be a lot more useful. Like back in the paper boomer days when that subreddit was brand new, that's actually where I first started making Magic content. I was playing in competitive tournaments and doing tournament write-ups of doing well in larger tournaments. But yeah, it's definitely today it's Johnny's. It's people looking to do wacky and weird things. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just not what the subreddit is self-described to be. There's nothing wrong with the way people there on average seem to want to enjoy Magic. It's just not what it's advertised as. Gotta kill this Dorko.
Hardly my worst.
And this feels like it's gonna be another game where we're just like playing Go Fish with my opponent. My deck doesn't really feel like it can ever beat a sweeper. Need to draw like running collected companies here. Well, if I didn't say this deck is going exactly how I expected it to go, I'd be lying. This deck's has been the flaming dumpster fire I mostly expected it to be at this point. Man, these hands are bad. I guess we're keeping this. I guess it's really bad, though. I mean, to be fair, Dana Fisher plays Elves in Modern, and for a long time, Elves in Modern was super reasonable. In fact, the changing of the Modern format to a point where Elves was no longer playable was a big part of what finally killed my love of Modern. Yeah, I don't think Heroic Intervention makes this deck playable. We just got dumpstered by Cry of the Canarium and Shadow's Verdict out of Grixis, so... Yeah, the printing of Lava Dart killed the last things I loved. Modern Horizons was the death knell to my enjoyment of Modern, personally. Hello, Jacob. What's up? How is your Plant versus Zombies going today?
It's harder and harder.
It's getting harder and harder. Yeah, the level you gotta practice and do better. They're trying to challenge you to make your brain think extra hard. You're a smart boy, though. I bet you can figure it out and beat those zombies. Don't let them get your brains. Can I eat your brains? No, that's a good answer. Don't let anybody eat your brains. What do you gotta tell me?
These are be a video game, not in real life.
That's correct. There aren't zombies in real life. You're pretty smart. You must have your brain still.
Maybe Bill Gray will heal. With Bill Gray, that means zombie are real.
There's no zombies at the graveyards, I promise, okay? Just in movies.
And so...
I'm sure.
Are you sure?
I'd ask chat to confirm for me, but they're not very honest people.
Really?
Oh, they're real and they ate my brain? Did the zombies eat the information of zombies out of my brains? So they could exist in secret?
No. Maybe yes.
It could go either way. You're not wrong. This game is over, right? We're done. Alright. Let's try a couple of more here, but I think I'm ready to relegate Elves to the dustbin of Historic until we get some. I don't even know what we could get, honestly. Like, I guess Elvish Mystic would help you be a little bit more explosive consistently, but...
None.
Alright, but I love you. Play a game or watch a show or something. We will hang out tonight and I will help you with more Plants vs. Zombies levels, okay? What?
Yeah.
Oh, Mommy's helping you? You have such a good mom.
Ah.
Actually, you should take these upstairs and tell your mom that Declan found them down here and I don't know where they're from. Be very careful. Don't drop them. I'm happy I voted for Judd Midrange. I'm not surprised it's bad. I'm surprised at how bad. So, like, I also think we've hit a pretty extreme amount of matchup variance in, and this is why, like, so this deck list at its core came from a 6-0 deck dump, and it's hard to know from those dumps, like, what did these decks play against? So, like, for example, we've played against, like, decks playing a bunch of sweepers, like, 2 out of the 3 or 4 matches we've played so far. And, like, this deck's probably fine if you're just looking to linear and race other people. But it does not seem particularly good against anybody trying to interact with you. Especially if they're interacting with you by sweeping your board. As is always the case, you know, the record doesn't tell the whole story. It loses all abilities. Rude. Yeah, honestly, this could be a blue-white control card. This is like a third sweeper deck in a row. Feels like a third sweeper deck in a row, huh? That's the censor. Hey, Big Breakfast. Thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel this afternoon. Oh, are you the one Winota player? I saw Winota in the deck dump. I dug through. The standard deck dump was real dry. I think I don't think standard's solved in the state that there's like one deck that's busted, but it feels like standard's pretty solved in that we know all of the decks that are good at this point. The deck dumps have been most of the same for the last couple of weeks. This isn't a bad thing. Like, there's plenty of good decks to play in standard, but I think most of the room to brew and find new things in that format has been sucked up at this point. Hey, thanks for the 2/3 of a year, Maiden Nihan. It's good to be back. Oh, you know what? With this Field of Runes sitting here, I should have played that pathway on black, huh? Assuming that they were going to hit me with that eventually. Yeah, the mono black vampires deck is very, very good. It's basically a port of the what's the word I'm searching for? It's a port of the black aggro deck from Pioneer. This is like missing Mutavault basically. And what's it called? The snow creature land does an okay Mutavault impersonation. I'm gonna attack around Settle the Wreckage here. This might be wrong. Yeah, I don't know. Attacking around Settle the Wreckage is probably always wrong. Probably always wrong. They didn't block the bigger one, which would imply to me they don't have a sweeper, but maybe they'll draw one. They're drawing 2 cards here. And again, just playing Go Fish. Hoping the opponent's got nothing. Are we finally going to win our game of Go Fish? Is our control opponent finally going to not have a sweeper? They really should have started by cycling the Censor to try and hit Wrath of God. Well, loose on their part, maybe. We won, but the only thing we did differently was we were luckier. Being luckier is frequently a strong play, chat. Frequently a strong play. I think this is my sideboard planning its control. 2 Duress, 3 Realmwalker, 3 Ooze in. We cut Clancaller and Druid and Nurturer. Hey, thanks, Shakti. I appreciate the 26 months. Welcome back. Oh yeah, I should probably bring in Reclamation Sage. That's probably better than Skews. Crazy-eyed Cripple. Thanks for the brand new Prime support. There's a lot of people you can ship that support to every month here on Twitch. Thanks for sending it my way. Good afternoon. I technically have through the weekend, Ewok. So if we don't hit that 120 by the end of the day, you could definitely do it tonight. Help me out still. The glowing red here, by the way, means that this can't be countered. Yeah, I think I take that. It's fine. Little sad that I don't get my friendo. Skemfar Avenger. Huh. That card doesn't seem terrible. I guess that helps against, it wouldn't help against Shadow's Verdict or Cry, but it'd be good against Wrath of God. It's like kind of a pretty generically okay card. The fact that it doesn't count for itself feels a little bit bad. Yeah, the fact that it's a pickup by Collecting Company is big game. For sure.
You know what? I'm not done.
Hey, Silas, thanks for the 15 months. It's good to have you back. We'll shoot.
We need to move quickly.
Oh yeah, they have Mystic Subdual too. They showed us that game 1. Rex Sage. Rex Sage seems great. So I very likely have Cage post board too. Pretty sure we start the game by applying pressure. We want to Thoughtseize the turn before they play a discard spell. Or like here, I can play this turn into this Thoughtseize next turn. MK all day. Thanks for sticking on with that tier 1. Welcome back. And they have all these counter spells in hand, so they want to subdue this one, but I have another rider. Should be pretty good here on the play, I think. They're gonna need to spike land Wrath of God here to have a shot. Otherwise, this is just gonna dumpster them. Neener. Nice counter spell. That's fine. This is Wrath of God, and this is untapped land. They might cast 3-mana Healing Salve here. Yeah. Six, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. This is lethal with the Lord, right? Okay. I mean, we successfully played Go Fish. I'm gonna click his frowny face because they were playing blue-white control, though. Boys, your toys need to not be in my office, please. This is not a place to play. Take them back out to the basement. Thank you. Alright, so this Dorka. Oh, whenever another non-token elf or berserker you control dies, you lose a life and draw a card. Nurturer has been real bad. I think I'm in for this card. I think I need the 12th black mana source at a minimum, though. We'll give up one of the castles. It's my last cut here. Probably Clancaller. The type of playing that I just told them they weren't allowed to do is more akin to roughhousing and bouncing around. In fact, the shelf of games behind me is more of a testament to it's not a place to bounce and bang around, because that shelf comes humbling down would definitely kill a small child. Heck, it might even kill me. It's a big shelf with a lot of games on it. Yeah, let's try that. Wheel. Are they claim the firstborn deck? I don't know how we ever beat a claim the firstborn deck. Yeah. Yeah! Elves and ovens. Let's go, chat. You put the elf in the oven and you bake him all up. Just quit? Maybe, I don't know. I got double company here. If there is any hand that could win, it's like 2 decent companies, right? You find an Archdruid here and vomit my hand onto the table next turn? See, chat? Let's get linear. I want to get linear. Let's get into linear. Elvish Archdruid is a very silly card when it gets going. Claim these! I have many children. You can only take one. Two lands cast like 12 mana worth of spells. Yeah, where's my Shaman of the Pack set? That's the card. Screw this Imperious Perfect. Give me some Shamans of the Pack. That's what I want in my life. All right, so Thoughtseize is coming out here. I gotta have ways to kill Mayhem Devil and probably Priest. Hello, Jacob. Scavenging Ooze matchup. I know someone said this card seems okay here, but I actually disagree with that. Like, they're claiming our stuff. They don't have that much actual removal, and it's a 3/1 that dies to Mayhem Devil. Like, 2 drops that die to Mayhem Devil seem bad. Is this a Rex Sage matchup? Is this a Rex Sage matchup? Honestly, is Rex Sage better than Skews? Rex Sage might actually be better than Ooze. Maybe I want to trim... Maybe I trim 3s instead. Maybe Realmwalker's not good. I'm bringing in a lot of non-elves. Yeah, I guess I have a good number of elves. 8, 16, 9, 25. Yeah, Realmwalker's fine. Oh, they have Scrap Heap too. Yeah, I can see Ooze being fine for that. Skoos only gets... I guess we have a lot of green mana. Would I rather have Realmwalkers or Imperious Perfects? I feel like I could go either way on that. Maybe this isn't what the matchup is about. This probably isn't what the matchup is about. I'll leave 1 in because I think it's better than my X1s. But I love you, but you need to stop playing my offense. Please close the door. Jacob. Sorry, had to use my dad voice. I guess my dad voice isn't much louder than my normal stream voice. Yeah, it's about tone, not volume is accurate. Hey, treatsies. Is the dad voice also clearly fake? Man, that YouTube comment is gonna be like the gift that keeps on giving for a while, huh? You're missing context. What was the comment? It was... Man, it almost looked like a copy pasta. I feel like we should probably... It's on my Twitter. Galgok, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel today. If someone wants to go dig it up on my Twitter, we can make a command. They were like asking for the Twitch manager away from being a perfect Karen style comment. Is that it? Thanks, Gnome. I've figured out the Claim the Firstborn matchup, chat. The Claim the Firstborn matchup is really easy when they don't draw Claim the Firstborn. Yeah, honestly, the most out of touch part of that entire comment is they thought their one view was worth multiple pennies. If one YouTube view is worth multiple pennies, we'd all just be YouTubers farming money from Google. We'd all just sit there watching each other's videos all day for no reason. This seems fine. Not amazing, but fine. Curves at least. It is. It almost reads like a copy pasta. Yeah, and that's the funny part too. You could probably argue, as far as authenticity goes, I'm pretty close to as authentic as they come. More than one black source, right? I think I'm fine trading this for both of these. I think that's a trade I'm happy with. I think we actually just play Avenger here. Wow, the stat line on Avenger is actually really good here, huh? Avenger trades with their 4/4s on its own, which seems fantastic. True. The entertainment value provided off their comment will probably turn into a few pennies over time. It's not a 2-for-1 because this doesn't draw a card when it dies. It says when another non-token elf or berserker dies. That's our new video editor. What video was that on? It was, and the funny part was, Alran, that comment was left on my tournament YouTube video, where my voice in my tournament YouTube video is actually my conversational voice. When I stream like this and I'm engaging with chat for long periods of time, I tend to project my voice to keep my energy levels up. Yeah, screw it. What does it mean to project my voice? It means that, I don't even know how to not project my voice when I'm sitting here. I have to like consciously make an effort when I'm standing at my desk talking to not do it. All right, I want my removal spells in. It means, at the base level, it means the power from my voice is coming from my diaphragm as opposed to coming from my throat. It's a speaking technique that helps you not have a sore throat after talking for 8 hours straight. It's what teachers and performers typically do. Yeah, you're talking from your chest. Yeah. Yeah, I took a number of amateur theater classes in high school and college. Hey, WMG, thanks for the raid. Hope you had a good stream today. Yeah, I think this is fine. We'll bring in the removal spells and the Scavenging Oozes. Lots of creatures are going to die in these matchups. Usually this can heal us up. I don't think this is a Rex Sage matchup. Maybe if they bring in Cage, we'll bring in Rex Sage. Correct, Shakti. Or speaking publicly without a microphone. Listen, as somebody who put himself through undergrad working as a live audio engineer, the microphone doesn't mean you don't have to project. So you still need to project if you have a microphone. And one of the things that I always find, and this is personal, and I know that it's atypical, but I always find it annoying when I'm watching a streamer and like a quarter of their webcam is like their microphone right up in their face. So like the fact that I project my voice means I can have my microphone back on my desk and it still picks me up appropriately and fine. It's not right up on top of me. I think we lead on Warmaster. Because this is always going to make a token, whereas this can make multiple over the course of a few turns. That's true. I do pull the microphone up close for the ASMR segments. Hey, Leedrol, thanks for the 2/3 of a year. Welcome back. I mean, like, I don't even have anything fancy for a microphone either, right? Like, I've never spent more than $100 on my microphone that I use for streaming, and like the audio quality's fine. Maybe I'm supposed to lean on Archdruid there. This might bait removal though. I actually changed to using, I don't know, is Wavelink a brand? No, Wavelink is the software I'm using. I forget what brand makes this microphone. But I previously used a Blue Yeti, and I recently swapped to this other brand because they software locked a cool feature on their microphone. And I wanted the feature, so I changed microphones to get the feature, which is why they software lock it, I'm sure, because people like me will change microphones to get the feature we want. I think we're just passing here. No, RTX voice is related to my graphics card, as opposed to the microphone itself. So I can show it here on stream. So what this does, which is nice, is I was actually really surprised the software didn't exist. Where's my share desktop tab? There it is. It comes with this audio mixer that lets me quickly send. So like here, for example, I can click this button and now the stream no longer hears Arena, but Arena is still in my headphones, and vice versa. I can mute Arena in my headphones, but still send it to the stream. Stuff like that. And I can assign different things to different channels here. You can technically finagle that setup without that software, but it's way less convenient to do. So I spent the $100 to get the different microphone that works with that for convenience. Wait, so if I do this, and then I can do this, and then I can do this, to do this, to do this. All right, if we can dodge a cleave, we can dodge a ball, chat. Well, this has Death Touch, chat. So if they have Cleave, this would only have to assign 1 damage to every one of my blockers. I'm uncertain if this attack is lethal. My opponent is not. They're certain it's lethal. All right, let's do one more with Elves before we swap over to doing some of the Star Trek game to wrap up today. Amazon gave me student prem again, even though I've already graduated. Gotta give every cent to cost me weight. Thanks for the 14 months, Willie. Yeah, almost at that second goal too. Y'all rock. Hey, appreciate everybody taking a couple minutes out of their day to check that out for me. Sure. 1, 2, 3. It's just curvamentary. What could it be? I will do Runeterra spoiler review at the very end of the stream like I've been doing every day. So my contract for the Star Trek game is to play for 2 hours, so we'll probably do Runeterra spoiler review about 3:30, 4 o'clock, depending on when exactly we finish Magic. And then tomorrow morning, I'll be doing a little bit of Runeterra again at the very beginning of the stream. We're going to do another expedition. Alright, deal. I think I'm gonna do this and then attack with Llanowar Elf here. The more resource efficient play. And then next turn I can activate this plus company still. I don't have a lot of resources here, so I feel like I want to get as much as I can out of this every single turn. I'm playing a kind of sweet green-black rock build here, looks like, with Duress' card advantage engine. I like Flint Sleeve Siphoner. This card seems real reasonable in the format. This card, if you're not familiar, you don't have to be all in on the energy mechanic for this card to be good. Joke's on you, opponent. I don't have thoughts left to seize. I'm a member of Twitch chat. 0 thoughts you can take away. Alright, so I'm pretty sure we board Thoughtseizes out in a matchup like this. This is probably a place I want card advantage. These Realmwalkers sound good. I think I'm in for the removal spells here. They had a lot of cheap threats in their deck. Seems fine. Maybe Scavenging Ooze is good. Is Scoos better than some of these removal spells? Maybe 4 is too many. Bring in some Scoos here. It fights with their Duress, which is nice. Let's try this. Yeah, well, I mean, and like I said, right, and that's why matchup variance and, like, when you're talking about a deck-specific record, it doesn't tell the whole story. Like I said, when we were busy getting swept constantly, like, I assumed that this archetype was much more reasonable against things where it could race, like Gruul, or decks like this that are leaning on spot removal more than individual sweepers. The context with what's your record is always important. Like, okay, this is what the number is, but why is the number that is super important. Yeah, I think the deck, I don't even think, definitely the deck that we're playing here, Elves, is the epitome of a Go Fish deck. It's very much a, these are my things, are my things good enough? If they're good enough, you're dead. If they're not, I'm gonna lose. It's a 2 or a 10 deck. You're either doing big, impressive things or you're just losing. You actually don't have any cards that can beat Cry. Just actual none. The problem with playing more Lords is the decks that are playing Cry also play plenty of spot removal. Is Elves in any format not Feast or Famine? I think Modern Elves had a lot of, like, nickel and dime style games. As someone who had played that archetype a lot in that format, when it was playable. I think I'm okay with this trade. Well, I guess this trade is bad because they just get to go land Lurrus, replay it next turn. Okay, yeah, that attack is bad because they drew Lurrus. Do we Scooze for a turn? Or do I attack? I'm gonna wait a turn. I'm gonna make another elf. I don't think it's quite dino time. If I draw, not only do I get to make an elf here with Imperious Perfect, but if I draw another land next turn, I'll get to, if I draw another untapped land next turn, I'll get to attack with both my land wars, which is nice. We are banking on them not having a removal spell this turn, which is ideal. I mean, I'd be kind of surprised if their Lurrus deck had Cry. I guess they could have Cry. Like this, and these technically cannot die to it. So what happens if I attack with everything? Okay, I think this means we wait one more turn. We get to make another elf with this, and then next turn we get to use this to activate the rest of them. They could draw a removal spell for the Allosaurus Shepherd here, I suppose. Naveen, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. Wait, excuse me? Friendo. Don't tell Scotty, chat. Scotty doesn't know. What did they kill? They killed Elvish Archdruid. Now they know, chat. Now they know. All right. That, you know, when we weren't getting swept constantly, that felt pretty reasonable. I do think that this edition seems very good. The other 3-drop that we were playing, the Nurturer, who's here on the deck box, is a pretty mediocre card. That's a card that like wants you to put more elves out after she's already in play. The fact that she doesn't add to the board when she comes off the top of the late game really sucks. So while this won't help against things like Cry or Shadow's Verdict, unfortunately, it is going to be good against Wrath of God and stuff like that, potentially keep you in games like that. So while I do think this deck is pretty swingy, you're not going to have a lot of control over some of your games. If you enjoy elves or just going big really fast like we did in a couple of those last games, this deck seems like it's on a fine power level for this format. So I like where we ended here, the extra black source, the Avengers. I like the Thoughtseize splash. This felt pretty free and felt reasonable. This gives you some more play against sweepers at least, even if the top of their deck can be brutal sometimes, but it gives you a little bit of control, although not a ton if you're unlucky. So if you're looking at elves, this seemed like a fine choice.